Okay, next we'll look at some algebra-based questions around the idea of parallelogram properties. So in this case, we're given an algebraic expression for each of these sides that are opposite from each other, and we know that opposite sides are congruent. So we can set these expressions equal to each other, right? Because they have to be the same number. So we set them equal, and then we solve for x. So first I subtract 5x from both sides, and then we add 25 to both sides. Right, and then we divide by 4, both sides. And we find x equals 8. Right, next up. So TV is 74. So TV is 74. We know that this is being cut in half. That's one of the rules. So if we divide it by 2, that gives us 37. So these are each of length 37. Next, we see that WV is 4x plus 1. Well, guess what? We also know that it equals to 37. So we could set the expression equal to 37 and solve for x. All right, we divide by 4 both sides, and we find x equals 9. Okay. Right, so for this one, we have to use the property that opposite angles are congruent in a parallelogram. So we set these expressions equal, and we subtract 4x from both sides. We add 15 to both sides, and we divide by 2 on both sides. Right, this time notice that they're not asking for x, they're asking for the measure of angle B. So the first thing I would do is take this and plug it back into either one of the two expressions. So here I'll plug in 13 for x. Here we get 40 and 12 is 52 plus 11 is 63. So if this angle is 63 and this angle is 63, right, to find the angle that is adjacent to one of these, we have to do supplementary. So 180 minus 63, that's 117 for angle B. Okay, so if we have the measure of angle KLH is 134, so KLH is 134, solve for x. So we know this one would also be 134. Then if I do 180 minus 134, that gives me 46. That would be for this angle and this one, right? Because opposite angles are congruent and adjacent are supplementary. Okay. So the next thing I notice is that since this is 25, we remember about the parallel lines cut by a transversal creates alternate interior angles. So if this is 25, then this one here would also be 25, right? And if that whole angle has to be 46, I could do 46 subtract 25 and get 21 for this angle here. So we could take 21 and set that equal to 4x plus 9, right? And then solve for x. Subtract 9 to both sides. That leaves 12. Divide by 4. And we find that x equals 3. All right. Now it's your turn to try the problems along the right-hand side.